War veterans remembered with parades in Trinidad and Tobago. And in sport, Red Force top Zone A in regional Super 50 competition.
Live from 11A Maraval Road, this is TTT News at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mayana Carter. Welcome to TTT News. In our top story, no community in Trinidad is cut off from the rest of the country after last week's adverse weather. The assurance comes from Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan. Minister Sinanan visited the site of a landslide in Sobo village in Labre on Sunday. More in this report.
The heavy rains last week wreaked havoc in Sangre Grande and environs and the Penal Debe area, flooding homes and causing landslides and landslips along rural access roads. Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan says there were 2 instances where there was the semblance of a bridge that collapsed.
We have had, over the last couple of months, some intense weather. In the last week, we have had some serious challenges. But what was clearly recognized, all our bridges remain intact. There were some rumors that some communities were cut off, and so that was not true for the last week. In the Komoto area, that was actually a working job site that the ministry would have actually cleared out to cast and put in new cylinders.
The Works and Transport Minister laments the active rainy season has hampered the ministry's road repair program, but assures they will take full advantage of the dry season in 2023. And he says the ministry will have the assistance of the newly formed Secondary Road and Rehabilitation Company under the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government.
What we expect to see happening is a huge ramping up of the road infrastructure in Trinidad, because now we have 2 separate agencies doing a lot of road works. So you would see a lot of road works happening.
At Sobo Extension in Sobo Village, Labre, a leaking water main caused the road to cave.
Almost 2 weeks now, residents were locked into their homes because of the fact children couldn't go to school, garbage truck couldn't come in and service. So WASA came in last week, Tuesday, repaired the leak and they condemned the line.
The local government councillor reached out to Namalco, a contractor on the Labidgo estate, who agreed to assist with the temporary repair of the roadway free of charge. The technocrats from the Ministry of Works and Transport will now assess the works to be done to permanently rehabilitate the roadway. Karen Kozia-Phillip, TTT News.
The first public celebration of Remembrance Day since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic took place at Memorial Park on Sunday. President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Paula May Weeks, arrived in her vehicle, accompanied by 16 police officers on horseback. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Chief Justice Ivor Archie were also in attendance. The occasion remembering the men and women who died in World War I and World War II. This solemn celebration was marked by armed and unarmed officers turning out in resplendent white uniforms to pay tribute. In addition to the wreaths being laid at the base of the cenotaph located in the center of Memorial Square by the President, the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice, Minister of National Security, the mayors of Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima and Point Fortin, as well as the members of the Diplomatic Corps. The ambassadors to this country from the US, the UK, the European Union, Brazil, Australia, Colombia, Jamaica, Guyana, and many more were also on hand to pay respect to our fallen soldiers. Tobago's war veterans were honored during the island's Remembrance Day parade and wreath-laying ceremony on Sunday. Representatives of each detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force and other groups encircled the James Park following a parade through Scarborough. Lescotho resident Iman Legal, who served in World War II and was part of the Royal Engineer Department, was one of the surviving veterans honored during the event. Dr. Robert Nelson, Lord Nelson, was another honoree. The Plymouth native who migrated to the United States was drafted into the U.S. Army and served in the Korean War. For the island's fallen soldiers, Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel laid the first wreath, followed by representatives of each detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. A manhunt is underway in Tobago for the suspects involved in the killing of Special Reserve Police Constable Kyle Lashley. The Tobago Division is being assisted by personnel from the Interagency Task Force and the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. Acting Commissioner of Police McDonald Jacob says all resources of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and National Security will be brought to bear in the investigations into the killing of the young officer, and the island will be scoured until the perpetrators of the crime are brought to justice. According to reports, PC Lashley, who was last attached to Crown Point Police Station, was in the company of friends at around 7:10 p.m. at Providence Road, Lescotho, when a black Kia Cerato motor vehicle stopped alongside them and two armed men exited. One of the men robbed PC Lashley of a gold chain and fired several shots at him. The men then entered the vehicle and sped off. PC Lashley was rushed to the Scarborough General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. 26-year-old Lashley is Tobago's 10th murder victim for 2022. Social Development and Family Services Minister Donna Cox says her ministry is partnering with civil society to assist the poor and vulnerable. Here with the details is Terry-Ann Brown-Campbell.
According to Minister of Social Development and Family Services, Donna Cox, her ministry is looking to teach the wider society how to access its many services.
We will continue to pursue our initiatives to support NGOs, faith-based organizations, and community-based organizations through capacity building partnerships and other collaborative mechanisms within the ministry.
She added the ministry will be using the Public Information Education and Sensitization or PIES program to educate these groups.
These sessions are virtual workshops we provide to enlighten different organizations on the various social services grants and the services that the ministry offers to persons who are vulnerable.
Minister Cox specifically issued an invitation to the organization to participate in the PIES program. Meanwhile, member of the group, Soraya Khan, said their plan is to continue to help the needy in their communities.
This time around, we are focusing on children's education, meaning that there are many children who are academically inclined, like they say, a bright child, and write the SCA, passing for the secondary schools, but their families are not financially stable to carry this through.
The Indian Women's Group of Trinidad and Tobago held their annual fundraising dinner on Saturday. Terry-Ann Brown-Campbell, TTT News.
More to come. Stay with us.
Sunday, December 4th, 2022. Gates open 3 p.m. Showtime 4 p.m. 11A Maryville Road. TTT Limited Car Park. Home. The Gathering.
Messages of love, hope and light, pure acoustic and intimate. We present to you The Gift of Christmas, featuring Jara Nurse, Candice Caton, Durant Sandy, Chanel Spencer, Curtis Jordan, Renee Lawrence, Nathaniel, and Aaron Eiffel. In the season of good tidings and cheer, we remind you of the ultimate gift, The Gift of Christmas, only on TTT. Brought to you by Nick Entertainment Production.
We are going beyond the headlines, asking the questions you want answered. Joining us this week is Independent Senator Paul Richards. Join us this Sunday at 7 p.m. on TTT, TTT Live Online, and Talk City 91.1 FM. We are delving deeper.
Welcome back. Described as one of the most anticipated fetes for Carnival 2023, Harmony 4 was launched on Saturday evening. For the 2023 event, the All Stars Band will partner with the Desperados Steel Orchestra, and it promises to bring the vibes the show is known for while honoring the legacy of Dexter Black-Stewart, who headlined the event since the inception. Manager of the All Stars, Richard Gordon, lamented that the outpouring and appreciation for blacks and his contribution to Trinidad and Tobago's musical landscape was more evident after his death. He said icons of our culture should be honored while they're alive. Therefore, during Harmony 4, 3 icons will be recognized.
We want to honor them in not with trophies or plaques or medals, but we want to give them cash. So I want to invite the corporate sponsors or even private citizens to donate directly to the sponsors we will name shortly in the near future, to give back to them, to say thanks, play the music, invite them to come to Harmony and take pictures with them and make them feel appreciated and loved.
General Manager of the Desperados Steel Orchestra, Kwesi Moore, said he's pleased to see the reintroduction of Pan in Fetes and looks forward to this new partnership.
We look forward to paying tribute to an icon. Blacks music and Pan almost go hand in hand, like hand in glove. And of course, that would be a main feature of the band's performance. Players are excited, community is excited, and we look forward to a great event.
Harmony 4 will take place on Carnival Wednesday, February 15, 2023, at the Desperados Steel Orchestra Panyard on Tragrit Road, Port of Spain. In October, the world observed Breast Cancer Awareness Month, while in November, lung cancer awareness is being observed. Caricia Douglas spoke with a 2-time breast cancer survivor who uses her experience to strengthen others battling the disease.
Almost 13 years ago, while breastfeeding, Tobagonian Lauren Idu felt a lump in her breast. After several home remedies, she decided to visit the doctor.
Did the lumpectomy, they removed it and tested it, and of course I got the tragic news that it was breast cancer. However, the doctor who removed it said to me, well, don't worry because the margins are clear and we got all of it.
But her moment to rejoice was short-lived. During her husband's checkup at Cleveland Clinic in Miami, they decided to have a second opinion on her condition.
I received the dreaded phone call, they saying that the margins weren't really clean, and so I needed to come back.
After several checks and treatment, Mrs. Idu was declared cancer-free. However, after many assurances, her story took a turn.
I myself let down my guard because they say after 10 years are good. And there I was again, the second time around, receiving the same news, not on the same side, the other side. And this time around, the doctors say, listen, Miss Idu, if it was one side, come back on the next side, although we did all that treatment and whatever. Our suggestion is that you remove both breasts.
It was a devastating experience, moving her to also question God.
Why me, Lord? How? You know, but I heard him say, why not you? You know, I give my strongest battles to my strongest soldiers.
But with support, she was able to overcome the many hurdles. Proving cancer was no match for her, Mrs. Idu, a committed educator, also completed her master's degree in early childhood leadership.
There it came in the middle of it. I had to stop and all of that. And then, you know, as I started back feeling better after the treatment and all of that, it was rough this time, tougher, but I got through, I made it, you know, and with the constant pushing, Dr. Verlene Bob Lewis my dear mentor and friend. She's saying, if this old woman could do it without foot, you could do it too, you know. And I get up back again, you know, jump back on, started again.
She now uses her life story to encourage other cancer patients to fight and educate themselves. Carissa Douglas for TTT News.
In tonight's I Love Tobago segment, we highlight the work of Tobago's Innovate winemaker, who has used her craft to support a cancer patient in her fight against the dreaded disease.
Labeled Jenny, Stacey Herbert added a new bottle to her line of Mainridge wines in honor of one cancer fighter. The Palutuvere resident told us she was approached by a friend about a young woman who was diagnosed with the disease and needed financial aid.
Asking me if I could create this special thing for her, right? So, because they wanted to raise funds to be able to help with the cervical cancer, right? And I thought, you know what, use things that are available to us. Jenny is the young lady who was diagnosed with cervical cancer, and we decided to use our brand, our name, to create something special for her, right? Being aware that this is something that affects women.
Not only was Stacey focused on taste, she conducted research and included ingredients which she believes have cancer-fighting properties.
Guavas, pomegranates, that's another thing that I would have used, that also helped, right? There's another thing called, the simple name for it is butterfly pea, right? It's a little flower, it comes in different colors.
Stacey included her other innovative wine flavors as part of the fundraiser.
Taro, which is dasheen infused with chocolate, and there's also cockfight, which is a dandy root blend. That one is the one for the men and women.
Stacey said persons have shown tremendous support, adding as Jenny continues to battle cervical cancer, there are few bottles still available to offset her medical expenses. So as the world observes Lung Cancer Awareness Month in November, then Cervical Cancer Awareness in January, with every sip of this wine, we could think of the efforts Stacey and others are making to support those fighting cancer. I am Carissa Douglas for TTT News, and I love Tobago.
Remember, you can keep up to date with all that's happening on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TTT Live Online. Up next, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley calls for reflection on West Indies cricket.
The event you've been waiting for.
Let me tell you about life.
Sungusha, Festival of Dance. We'll take you on a journey into the wild. Saturday, November 19th at Los Soledad, Maracas, St. Joseph. We bring to you Sungusha featuring Iowa George, KMC, Siggy Rankin, and of course, RKG.
Tell me she have no day, but she says she will love.
For more ticket info, call the hotline at 681-3353-778-8646. This is Sungusha.
On the first day of Christmas, my sweetness gave to me a chance to make my Christmas merry. Sweet 100 will be the sweetness this Christmas as we celebrate the sweetest 100 days of Christmas. We're set to make your Christmas brighter when we light up the Christmas tree with 100 bells. There are 100 gifts under the tree. One of them could be yours. Simply count down the sweetest 100 days of Christmas with us. And when you call, give us the correct number we're up to in the sweet 100 days of Christmas. Give us the access phrase, on the day of Christmas, my sweetness gave to me. Make those your first words to us whenever you call, and you can win a gift under the tree. So join us for My Sweetness Gave to Me on Sweet 100.1 FM, celebrating the sweetest 100 days of Christmas. Sponsored by...
Messages of love, hope, and light, pure acoustic and intimate. We present to you The Gift of Christmas, featuring Jara Nurse, Candice Caton, Durrell Sandy, Chanel Spencer, Curtis Jordan, Renee Lawrence, Nathaniel, and Aaron Eiffel. In the season of good tidings and cheer, we remind you of the ultimate gift, the gift of Christmas, only on TTT. Brought to you by Nick Entertainment Production.
Red Force captain Nicholas Pooran's unbeaten 99 helped guide his team to a 7-wicket victory over the Windward Islands Volcanoes and finished top of Zone A of the regional Super 50 competition. Batting first, the Volcanoes scored 201 for 4 from 40 overs as the game was interrupted by rain. Posting a score that would have been challenging for the Red Force at one point looked impossible for the Volcanoes, as at one point they were 36 for the loss of 4 wickets. But Sunil Ambrisi's unbeaten 90 and Captain Andre Fletcher's 68 were enough to steady the ship. The Red Force was set a revised target 249 from 40 overs for victory on the Duckworth-Lewis system and had contributions of 43 and 25 from Kijon Otley and Jason Mohammed. But it was a 165 fourth-wicket partnership between Captain Pooran, whose 99 included 11 fours and 2 sixes, and Darren Bravo's 67 from 63 balls, guided the defending Super 50 champions to victory. They now wait to see who will be the runners-up in Zone B that will be their opponents in the semi-finals. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has called for reflection to be taken on West Indies cricket following the regional team's failure to qualify for the Super 12 of the T20 World Cup in Australia. In a post on his Facebook page, Prime Minister Rowley said the embarrassing and underwhelming performance of West Indies cricket has been exposed in all its nakedness. There is an urgent need for deep reflection. He asks, what is it about us that after demonstrating our superior playing skills in these colonial and post-colonial islands, we cannot now find it within our populations, the business, coaching and management skills to halt the decline of an activity where we dominated the world for a record-breaking almost 2 decades. The Prime Minister says we must stop franchising out our legacy and our future. We need visionary and competent management, both on and off the field. Adding, we must look for requirements within us and we must embrace and allow our world-beating ex-players to play a hugely meaningful role across all boundaries within the region. We need that now. England beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in a pulsating final in Melbourne to win the ICC Men's T20 World Cup and become double world champions. Chasing 138 in front of a raucous Pakistan supporting crowd, they fell to 45-3 and 84-4 amid electric fast bowling. But under intense pressure at the iconic Melbourne cricket ground, Ben Stokes wrote himself further into the folklore of English cricket by finishing on 52 not out. He was there at the end as he was in the 2019 50-over World Cup final, as this current white ball side provided another of English cricket's greatest wins. As the equation tightened, Stokes capitalised on a cruel injury to Pakistan left armour Shaheen Afridi and took England to victory with 6 balls to spare. The win, thanks in large part to a superb bowling performance from Sam Curran and Adil Rashid, means England becomes the first team to hold the men's 20 and 50-over world titles. It is also their second T20 world title following victory in the West Indies in 2010. San Juan North and El Dorado West Secondary will meet in the finals of the East Zone Senior Boys Secondary Schools Football League Final. San Juan thumped Brazil Secondary 12-0 to earn their spot in the finals, while Eldo West defeated St. Joseph Secondary 3-0. Kent Fuentes has the highlights from Eldo West's victory.
A place in the final was up for grabs, and Eldo West started brightly, but needed the finishing touch here to take the lead. St. Joseph Secondary were riding a wave of luck, with their keeper and the upright combining to keep the score goalless. But that luck soon ran out as Eldo's captain, Christopher Stefano, controlled brilliantly and finished even better to give his team the lead in the 25th minute. St. Joseph then had a chance to level but could not convert on the counter-attack. Football is a game of chances, and the Eldo captain, Christopher Stefano, took his. In the 38th minute, his thunderous free kick gave the St. Joseph keeper and the defense no chance, leading from the front and giving his team a 2-0 lead at the interval. St. Joseph looked to get themselves back in the game, but once again their finishing let them down. Eldo West too came close to a third, but their opponents' defending and keeping on a sticky surface was good enough this time. But O'Neal Chioka had other ideas and sealed a 3-0 victory for El Dorado West with a rocket into the top corner. They will face Sawa North Secondary for the title of East Zone Senior Under-20 champions. Kent Fuentes, TTT Sports.
More to come. Stay with us.
Christmas music lovers, get ready! Get ready for the first ever Soca Parang Fiesta in tribute to Kenny J. Saturday, December 10th, Sapa San Fernando, and Sunday 11th, Napa, Port of Spain. Enjoy top exciting Soca Parang stars with their many Christmas hits and also some of Kenny J's, including Crazy, Crocro, Alicia Jagasaw, Marilyn Williams, Marcy Miranda. Roll! Ninja, Billy B, Hosa, and Eddie Charles. Los Alumnos de San Juan, Xavier Strings. Saturday, December 10th, Sapa, 6 p.m. And Sunday 11th, Napa, 4:30 p.m. Tickets are $350 special reserved and general admission $300 with a limited amount of general admission tickets costing $75 less if bought by Saturday, 19th November. For more info, 331-4285. Soca Parang Fiesta.
Sunday, December 4th, 2022. Gates open 3 p.m. Showtime 4 p.m. 11A Maryville Road. TTT Limited Car Park. Home. The Gathering.
As we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the passing of our former second Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. George Michael Chambers.
For the period tonight and tomorrow. Tonight mostly fair at first with a few showers developing mainly after midnight. Tomorrow mostly sunny and at times breezy conditions would be interrupted by showers in varying localities. There is a low chance of the heavy shower or thunderstorm favoring western areas of Trinidad, mainly during the afternoon. Gusty winds and street flooding are likely near heavy downpours. Seas are moderate, waves up to 2 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. We only have one life to live, so keep living it like if it's your last. Advice from Beyond the Grave by the late Dexter Black Stewart for the 2023 Carnival season. The video for his song titled One Life to Live was released on Saturday. We have a snippet in tonight's Feel Good Moment.
This morning, it wasn't promised today. Doctor tell you sick no months, but God is the true and free. Your house in order, declare all the bills away. Those are the macocious people, them can say what they say. If I like drink, that's why I do it. Oh, fat, that's where I do it. They like they show up tomorrow, so that they ain't gonna be ruined. Even Sunday, that's why I do it. Oh, church, that's where I do it. They like they show up tomorrow, so that they ain't gonna be ruined. Only I one life to live, so I living it like if it's my last, like if it's my last. We only have one life to live, so keep living it like if it's my last.
This is TTT News. On behalf of all of us here, have a good night.
This is TTT. Live for local.
Going beyond the headlines. Asking the questions you want answered. Exploring government policies and how they impact you. We are delving deeper.